On the third day, God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees that bear fruit, according to their various kinds." And it was so. And God saw that it was good.
Welcome to this episode of On the Third Day. We have been talking about how to grow plants and how to prepare them for use. But many of our viewers are interested, where can we buy vegetables or fruits or other things which are grown organically? We have with us today Mr. Darryl D'Souza, who will be telling us a little bit about his experiment in marketing of vegetables, fruits, and other products from organically grown produce, and how the Earth Keepers market came about and what went into making it before it actually was launched. So welcome, Darryl. We also have with us Priyanka Parab, who's been with us right from the beginning on these episodes to give us her insights and inputs on how organically vegetables, fruits can be grown and what is available in Goa. So Darryl, will you please tell us something about the Earth Keepers market and how it came about?
Yes, hello Miguel, hello Priyanka. So even before the market started, there was some time which took to, which was education, sending out information to people in the public.
So basically making people aware of what...
Making people aware. Okay, so I come from a background of integrative medicine and natural therapies, in which diet is a very important part of, healing illnesses and also preventing, illnesses, but healthy food. So in 2012, that's when I started teaching about health, how to reverse high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, through diet and natural therapy like acupressure or cleanse therapy, which also uses natural herbs, and natural herbs should be, of course, grown organically or naturally. So people in the general public were not aware at all that these illnesses could be reversed by food, and many of these illnesses are caused by food, by contaminated food or what we call processed forms of food.
Okay.
We come from a background that says, whole foods are the only real foods. So whole food is how God has made it and it's there on the planet.
Okay.
But
then not something that's packaged and given to you warm and eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, human beings, although all other species on this planet, they eat food naturally. Human beings, we are not satisfied. We want to take it, cut it, chop it, grate it, squeeze it, and do so many things to it.
Pack it into a pouch or jar or something.
And the second problem is violating a very basic principle of natural farming and the cycles and seasons, you see. So a mango will come in mango season, but we are not happy that we will not get it all through the year. So we put it in a tin. So that's where this preservatives and all that come in. And the whole packaged and processed food industry has come. So so in 2012, when I started doing these workshops on reversing all these illnesses and diet, cleanse therapy, acupressure, good habits, exercise, getting sunlight, all part of it, people started coming into them and they were not aware. And through education, a lot of people started, taking up these practices. And then it took almost 3 years for 2012, 13, 14, when finally people started telling me in your seminars and your workshops that I was not only doing in Goa, but outside Goa also. I'm based in Kandalim, but I used to travel outside. And they said, okay, you're talking so much about healthy organic food. Now, where is it?
Where do you buy it?
Where do you buy it?
Okay.
So I said there are a lot of, besides the commercial markets in Goa, there are a lot of villagers who are selling Gaunti produce and all of that. Why don't you go and buy from them? They said, have you gone and checked out their operations, whether it's natural? So then I went to some of the village folk, and I was shocked to see that they are putting urea and all of that in their
Okay.
produce. I mean, when growing the thing. So then I was also surprised that there's hardly, this is 2015, hardly any kind of organic produce. And that's when we started sourcing out. A few friends of ours in our group at that time, we were called World United Goa, where we used to meet every month and talk about health and talk about the need for healthy food. Okay, that's when some of us started trying to search where this organic produces, and somebody was growing in Aldona, and we used to have these meetings at a wellness center in Porvorim called Manashanti Healing Center.
Okay.
And so that's where we actually indoors we started the first market, and it was a part of a society. And so we sent the information to the society people, and few people used to come for it, 7, 8, 10 people.
Yeah.
And at that time in 2015, I was not growing organic myself. Okay, and so I couldn't bring any produce. I found one, two other small farmers. So few collections of organic we used to sell. But then that market kind of after 3-4 Sundays, it used to happen every Sunday.
With Sunday, okay.
Yeah, and after 3-4 Sundays, even it kind of died down because few people were there and they stopped coming. And that's when we decided to take it, unless it's a public market in a bigger open space, people will not know about it. We kind of put ads in the paper and it used to come. So in June of 2015, that's when we started the first public market in Kandulim. I have my ancestral plot of 600 square meters
So
over
that
there.
must have been the first organic farmers market happening in Goa.
That's right.
2015.
And since I came from a background of medicine and health and food, I was very strict about everything that is kept on the table. You see, even I would not allow anything from, white bread, or even when people are baking some muffins, I would say you should not be using processed sugar. You can use organic, this
Good or
jaggery.
something jaggery.
You can
Okay.
use organic honey, but you should use semi-polished rice. That should be. So I was curating the entire market and making sure. That time we had 7-8 people with different tables on organic fruits, vegetables. Then
So
natural.
at that point of time, you said if it's called an organic market, then it has to be organic.
Of course.
Anything will not chalta hai.
Yes.
Okay, that is very good to be clear what we are marketing and what the person's getting.
And we didn't call it an organic vegetable market because the scope was a little wider.
Right.
Because the things that I was talking about and our group was talking about is not only food, but also healthy living and healthy choices. So that products, healthy body soaps of natural materials, shampoo of natural materials, how do you use natural things all throughout your day? Even toilet cleaners, or floor tiles. So all of that. So that's why the name came as Earth Keepers Market.
Yes, actually, it's interesting why that particular name that you have chosen, Earth Keepers Market.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, of course, it has come much further, and I'm founding an organization called Earth Keepers Connect. And
Okay.
Earth Keepers are those people who are very watchful and mindful about what is happening to the earth and the environment, and how our food supply chain is getting contaminated, how not only our human body is falling sick from all of our chemical choices, but how also these, in the process of manufacturing these chemical things, how the factories are putting the byproducts which are inorganic into the soil and into the waterways and pumping out fumes in the air. So it's a total contamination of the air, the land, and the water. So Earth Keepers are people who see all of this. They make endeavors to understand all of this. They know that there is no good, healthy future for this planet and for societies and people across the globe unless they clear out all this. You see, so there are people who try to keep the earth clean and green and organic, and try in every day, their small habits and choices and everything they choose and they do. They try to keep it natural and eco-friendly.
So this Earth Keepers Market, what is the range of products that's available for people, and what are the kind of people who come in there?
Yes. Not surprisingly, there are people who are keeping products, and even my own background, I came from about 14 years of sickness.
Okay.
of lot of digestive disorders, allergies, liver problem, colitis and whatnot. And the only way that I was saved was through healthy food and through some natural therapies,
Okay.
you know.
So you
And
are a believer in your food should be your medicine and
yes,
medicine should not be your food.
yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yes.
So I'm a firm believer in that. And so because I had this background and I got cured from this, so I have such a strong, desire to help other people in the same. I've seen the truth of how food can be a medicine. I've
Yes.
used it. So that's what I try to teach people. I do it through a book that I've written, which is called Become Healthy or Extinct. It's read in countries all across the globe, and it's like a natural therapies book. And so through that book, through the market, we are trying to educate people, especially our keepers community, that what are the choices that we have made in the past that are the cause of all the contamination uh, in the world today,
Okay.
and why our food supply is getting choked up, and what are the right practices in personal choices, and how they affect the full food supply chain. I come from an earlier background of engineering, industrial engineering, and supply chain consulting.
Okay. You have done that also. Okay.
Yeah, so very minutely we used to look at right from the source. What is the raw material? How is it processed? What's happening? Where is it going? How multi-level of supply chain? And somehow that experience is helping me now, where I'm acutely looking at the food supply chain. You know, how has it got contaminated?
Because that
And
is something that we talk about integrity of the supply chain in
yes.
terms of organic. Priyanka, can you tell us what basically would be the difference between producing organically and producing with things like urea and other fertilizers?
Yes, so when we talk about organic, so we are trying to use organic formulation which can help our plants to grow better rather than using our chemicals, because we have seen there are many problems which have occurred because using those urea or any other chemical which is causing harm to our body. So when we talk about organic formulation, we can go for something naturally occurred, plant species which can help us to get reduce of those diseases or pests which are damaging a crop. So we can use neem oil, or we can use panchagavya, we can use trichoderma. There are various organic formulations which are available in the market. So we need to educate our farmers about it first of all, because it is the least information they have. That like they are carrying that practice of chemical agriculture throughout their life. So organic agriculture was there before, but that revolution has changed and mind has changed towards chemical because it's easily available. But organic has getting extinct towards the time, and they need that information to pop out somehow. They need to get educated over it. So if we use this organic agriculture remedies or formulations, there are chances of people going towards organic agriculture. Yes.
Okay. I think going into chemicals is a problem from my generation,
Yeah.
where from 1967 onwards, people have been told first to get the hybrid varieties, then they have lots of problems to spray insecticides, then to make them grow better, use urea and fertilizers. And slowly, all the companies which were made to close down their production in the Western world landed up in India, producing and flourishing here. Possibly the good news now is that one chemical factory that we had producing fertilizers has shut down last week. So that hopefully with what is happening now of people being conscious of organic food, of being conscious of health becoming worse with the food that they eat, and that organic markets or farmers market like the earth keepers market or the Goan farmers market or the other markets which are popping up are there, that this produce will be available to them. What is your prognosis of how the vendors and the buyers who want this will actually grow in Goa, especially given that the agriculture department, of course, is a late beginner with the Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana which has come in, PKVY which has come in now and forming these clusters of organic growers, whether it will really supply to the market and whether that market will grow because of the awareness.
Yes, so from my experience since 2015, you know, so we've been seeing that the regular visitors and the repeat customers to the market are mostly the people who have understood about health, who have, especially our market, people who have attended my health workshops or read the book or got some information somewhere else from, that organic is
So
something that,
basically, these are urban and educated class.
yeah, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
saying there is a basic level of education that when it goes out into society, people get that because when they come and we are small scale farmers, so the production costs are slightly higher. And if it is, if tomatoes in the market are at 30 rupees, sometimes at our counter it is at 40 rupees. So even though there is a organic counter, when we started in 2015, we did the first market in Kandolim at my place. Then within just a month, Saraya in Sangolda, that's an eco stay and art exhibition center on main Chogam Road. They asked to host the market at their place. So second Sunday we were doing at Saraya. Then just another 15 days later, International Center Goa Donapala asked for it.
Also data.
Then we were hosting it there. And after about 6 months, Happy Home in Asagaon, which is run by Feli Gomes, they asked for it. So for a few months, we were running the market at four different
For
locations.
different places, okay.
And then it was all our common vendors, a few people with organic, and then we had an extended range at Saraya because the space was more. We used to have almost 22 different tables, and like you were asking the products, so organic fruits, vegetables, groceries, and then there were healthy food products, groceries, and different things like
Even
cold,
honey, I think so.
yeah, at that time we used to keep honey also, cold pressed coconut oil, the full range,
Range of things, yeah.
organic, even masalas that you need in your kitchen. So we had all of that. Then we had some natural body products like soaps and all of that. Then we also have like for combs and all, bamboo India and soap dishes of wood and all. So we have all of those themes and some artwork also, or clay pots and artwork done on clay pots. Uh, just trying to see that whatever people consume on a regular basis, that it is natural and organic.
Okay.
So, especially with the organic fruits and vegetables, we saw that maybe there would be, 100 people coming to the market, but there would be some guys who just stroll and go out.
Yeah.
And every time at every table, they're saying, oh, 40 bucks, but I'm getting it for 30 bucks. And they go away. And then there's just a difference of 5 rupees also, they would not pick up from the table. So who are these people? Yes, they are not the people who have read any books on health. They have not reversed their illnesses through food. So what I'm saying is, if you really want more demand, we can go and set up. People are asking me to come and set it up in Margaon, come and set it up in Shiolim and all of that. And we can go and put our tables there. But basically, if people will just come and pass by because it's $5 more, then we will fail in our time and effort. So I have seen through experience that an education needs to go out first. Wellness activities.
Yeah, if there's no awareness, then they won't buy.
Yes.
And quite often they will save 5 rupees on a kilo of tomatoes and spend 500 rupees on a doctor to cure the stomach upset.
Yes.
Or maybe worse, get cancer and then spend a bomb on that.
Right.
Yeah. So that awareness, I think so, is very much required when you go for this.
And something even more surprising is that when you are looking at new people, we hope that more and more people in Goa should do organic farming, right? But who are the people who are going to do it? There are, many conferences on organic farming and so many presentations are done. And but basically the people who are already doing it, they attend it. Now, the only new influx of people are, like I have this WhatsApp group which has been full since the last 6-7 months, and all people where we're teaching them how to do small scale farming in their veranda, in pots around their house on 100 square meters, 200, 300, 400 square meters. Okay, and that group is full because actually there are people who are having sicknesses. Most of them are my patients from different cities and in Goa and all of that who have read the book. So they are sold on, every day I want to have organic, natural, healthy food. But if I don't get it in the market, then tell me how to grow it. I can keep 2 pots in my house. Tell me how to grow a tomato tree, I'll do it. Tell me how to grow radish, I will do it. So the real influx into people wanting to grow organic, because there's hardly any organic available, are the people who really know about health, who have been sick and who want to heal themselves.
That is a very interesting point, and I think Priyanka has been doing demonstrations in different places. I think it's possible to tie up maybe some places where they require help in knowing how to grow, where Priyanka and others like her who have done an agriculture course are available in Goa, could do even as an assignment, not necessarily as a professional job.
Yes.
And do you think it's possible to involve some bigger farmer who's got maybe 1 acre, 2 acres of land
Yes.
to grow a set of crops for the market?
Yes.
Whether that would be possible, some kind of a contract type of marketing, or whether the market could be open to one person bringing larger quantities
Yes.
in. Do you think we are ready for it?
Yes, it all depends on how we set up the full system.
Yeah.
So the first thing is that you got to have a little excess demand, then supply.
Yeah.
If your
The supply
demand
is
is
more,
less,
yeah.
if you got only 80% demand, that's what happens to us when there are certain things that we have grown and we put out and it doesn't go for sale. Then we have to save it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and how much can you cook and eat?
Yeah.
And then after 4 days, you have to put it in compost. So that's a loss-making business, right? So we always have to take care and see that demand is more than supply.
Supply, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Others, when there's a glut, you are the sufferer, and
Yeah.
there's
So-
no incentive to produce more afterwards.
So we've been doing these small things, but I've got one very good big event now happening in Goa, which is called the New Earth Summit.
Yes.
And it is
That's in November, right?
in November 8th, 9th and 10th at Panjim Convention Center. And the first day is curated only on health. You know, all topics of health. We have 10 experts from Goa speaking on different health topics. And in that, diet and nutrition and the need for organic farming, the need for natural mineral groundwater and well water for good health is also there. The second day, it's on organic farming and natural farming practices, and the third day is on environment.
Yeah.
So why it is curated like this? It is because only, and the audience capacity size, you know, Panjim Convention Center can take about 700 people. It's an AC auditorium, and we are recording all of these deep dialogues, which are presentations for half an hour from each speaker.
Which will be available to other people later on?
Which will be available to other people later on. So it's not that we're doing a program just for 700 people. We wanted to go to 70,000 and, you know, cross a lakh of people who are aware in Goa. So the first day creates awareness of how you can heal with food, and then the second day
How you can grow it.
yeah, it's an impetus, you know.
Okay.
That is because of these health reasons and healthy. I'm sure all the 700 people who attend day one, they will have it very clear in their mind that organic and natural is the way to go. They will sit for the full day on the second day in the organic farming, day to understand how to do it.
And then they will understand the impact of that on the environment.
And the environment.
Okay.
Because to grow organic,
it's a very nice logical chain which flows very naturally.
Even on the third day, we have got some very important things. Like from the right now in Goa, the septic tanks, okay, they're contaminating the groundwater and well water system.
Absolutely.
From which we are pumping out the water and trying to use it for our fields. But there's a beautiful solution in which grey water and black water is converted through different EM tanks and through underground piping, that is watering all your trees and your fruiting trees and your flowering trees and vegetable trees, and within almost 1 to 2 meters that water is getting absorbed. So that is not allowed to percolate down to your groundwater level.
Yeah, actually that is one of the issues that we are trying to tackle in Talegaon,
Yes.
where the breeding complexes, wastewater is coming to the fields.
Correct.
And the food that you grow there is no longer organic.
Yes.
Not a fault of the farmer, but the whole system is contaminated. And we are trying to look at that in Talegaon and Kamrabat, and I think so that's an issue which have nicely flagged that the septic tanks and the non-functional effluent treatment plants can be a major problem where we have to be conscious.
So the first part is, the solution is how not to contaminate the groundwater. And the second part is, we are presenting a rainwater solution, harvesting solutions also.
Okay.
So how to recharge your groundwater system, so that all through the year you have a good water table for your organic farming requirement.
Yes.
And in this, there's a beautiful, another third presenter with a very successful model implemented in Chennai, and now we're trying to do it in Goa. where we are seeing that there's a problem of, the seawater coming, through the mangroves into the Khazan area.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it's a water level here. If your groundwater level is low, then the
Then the seawater comes
is
in,
going to
yes.
come and ingress.
Yes. If you don't have enough fresh water, then
Yes.
the salt water
So rainwater
ingresses.
harvesting is so important to take up your groundwater levels, so that flows out.
That is one issue which we have been looking at in Sanstevo, Diwar, and in Shorang, where all these traditional ponds that they had, where they used to impound water in the monsoon,
Yes.
they have got silted and dried, and now the salt water is ingressing further inside, away from the Kazans, into their wells.
Yes.
So that fresh water keeps the salt water down. That's something that we'll have to look at.
Yes.
And we have to look at the market
Yes.
and how the market can really make the pull in growing vegetables. So thank you very much for being here on this program.
Thank
and
you,
thank you,
Miguel.
Priyanka.